Hello and welcome to Who Dares Roles TV. I'm your host Mike B. Here we are again at the end of March, and what a week it's been for me. So long story short, I've had COVID. I still have, to a certain degree, the COVID. Son number 2, who's now frequenting with a girlfriend, decided to bring it back to the house and infect me, the missus and all that. So that's kind of in a nutshell what's happened. In a further nutshell of it, it's not fun. I mean, thank Christ for vaccines, because otherwise I dread to think what state I've been in. But yeah, I pretty much, it's just been like a really rough week. Just like, that's not great. I did manage to put out a couple of vids because I was kind of barely functioning. I can't focus on anything at the moment. Is the other issue. It's just like your brain has just kind of turned to mush. So anyway, here I am. Video content is going to be a bit delayed to a certain extent because I'm hanging out my arse, really, is the thing. What more do you people want? However, there's some things to celebrate. We hit 400 subscribers, thanks to James Murray. I think rounded up a few local peoples and said, put a gun to their head and said, please just subscribe to shut him up. So yeah, we've hit 400. Hurrah! I would show much more celebration than that. However, my head hurts. So I won't. So yeah, that's the week. I think that's the week. Yeah, let's do some of what I played. Played. So played is isn't fuck all really. Nothing ball game. I tried. So the other day I bunged out through the ages and tried to play that through just in front of me, and that did not work. I was doing bits, but my brain is just... I had a crack at the solo Judge Dredd Cursed Earth game. I got out and just couldn't grok that very well. I don't know if I was doing... again, I'm not really functioning brain cells-wise very well. So that didn't work. So that went well. I have played a bunch of video gaming bits, played a bit of Hearthstone, because, it's Hearthstone. And I do still dabble in that. Darkest Dungeon. I think I played some of that. I had it free from the Epic Store for ages and never bothered. It's a bit of a Slay the Spire-y sort of roguelike dungeon crawl type thing. So I bunged it on. It's graphically, it's gorgeous, very Mignolo-ish in its art. It's punishing. The idea is you've got this almost insanity mechanism where as you fight deeper into the dungeons, everyone starts losing their mind and becomes unhinged, and there's all sort of different bits going on. It's entertaining. It's thing. I played a bit of it, so did that, which led me down a rabbit hole of looking at the Kickstarter for the board game one, which I had no interest in anyway, and still further have no interest in, though I did walk into numerous car crashes that were occurring in the forums for that in relation to some of the card being shown and the flavour text being terrible. Sam Healy, ex of Dice Tower, who now works for Mythic Games, are publishing the game, trying to defend it in a passive-aggressively shitty way, and all just being a bit of a fucking mess. So I'm kind of glad I'm not backing that. But anyway, yes, played a bit of that. And Fortnite, we've been playing Fortnite. Me and the boys for Sunday have been playing some Fortnite for whatever reason. I used to play it ages ago. It's stupid and simple, and I get to blow things up. So we did a bit of that. That is, I'm just looking at the brief notes I made. That is all that I played. That's it. Maybe some other stuff, but basically, no, nothing's happening. My head is hurting now, just even thinking about stuff. So fuck it. Let's do some news. Here is the news. So news. There's been news actually. So one thing I've done has been watching YouTube and shit because kind of I can't really focus on anything else anyway. Did see that the weekend just gone was the 45th, I think it was the 45th celebration of 2000 AD, and they did some live stream stuff and all stuff online. I haven't watched it all. There was one that was quite cool. We had Grant Harrett, Ian Livingstone, a gent from Had Shit Unplugged, a bunch of 4 of them from Games Workshop and Past History 2000 AD, Rebellion Unplugged, which is the kind of board game version of Rebellion. It's a bit of the company that republished 2000 AD. They're also doing games. They've put out, they're doing Sniper Elite, which looks kind of cool. They did the reprint of Blockmania and Tatatus Gate, I think it was, which is like a magazine pull-out thing. During this, they've announced that they're doing Dread, the RPG game, with the Dread license. Dread is this essentially use a Jenga tower, and it's this game of a horror game as you pull bits of the tower out. It's supposed to be, Charlie's played it, did a review ages ago. A written review, which is on the website if you ever haven't, maybe you better find that, have a look at it. It was kind of cool, some concept. It's just Dread. I'm kind of on board. Anyway, I watched the live stream, and the big thing that came off the back of that, it was just generally quite interesting just to see some of these luminaries from the board gamey RPG world discussing 2000 AD and all being fans. What came up was Livingstone, who designed this. Look at it. This is not in a good shape, but this is the original Judge Dredd board game. It has been moved from many houses. It's falling to bits. It's been taped back together. It's seen better days. This is, I think, 40 odd years old. So it could have been better looked after, but it's been well loved. They are republishing it. Hatchet will be doing republish of that, but they're going to tweak it and fiddle with it. So they're going to make it more modern, which is kind of cool that they're doing that, at least, because they didn't do it with Blockmania, which they just released it as an archive piece of its own, which I get because it's kind of a thing. How would you even go back to redoing that? But sadly, losing the designer, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so yeah, we've got the reprint of the Just Dread thing. Loved this as a kid and played it for a good few years, to be fair to you. It's all right. It doesn't maybe hold up to today's standard, but it was a lot of fun at the time. It had some wonderful stuff in it, a great mechanism of the various random perps could go out for crimes, and it was kind of dumb. You could have Judge Death out for littering, things like that. It's kind of cool. So yeah, they're going to be bringing that up. It's got like the classic characters in it. I don't know what else they're going to do. They're going to have some modular elements to it. They've said, I'm interested. I kind of more would like to see some original content coming out from them using the 2000 AD license. I mean, there's a fucking wealth of wonderful characters. And we're not seeing anything to the level of what I would have loved to have seen of board games for it. There was the Rogue Trooper one a while back. Kind of quite like to see that come back out because I like a bit of Rogue Trooper, or do a new one. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff they could do, a bunch of characters, and we've only had Wildlands. Actually, Helter Skelter, which is the redo of Wildlands from Martin Wallace, which is kind of cool, arena combat thing. So anyway, there's that. So that was kind of cool. I enjoyed that. It was nice. I love 2000 AD. Love a bit of that. I like anything new. 2000 AD is always good. So if the Dread thing takes your fancy, that's $7.50 for print and play. PDF of it. I think as of the end of the month. Tempted, maybe Just Dread. I don't think they're doing a physical version of it, and reprint of that. Kind of cool. So there you go. What else is there? Let's have a look. Oh yes, Outer Rim. FFG have finally announced the Outer Rim expansion. Actually probably out, and actually some news related to it. I guess it's coming out in the summer. I don't think they've given an actual release date for it or price, but it's coming out soon. So it usually means when they do this, it's soon, within the next month or two. I'm guessing ready for Gen Con. So what we're going to get in here is a bunch of new characters you can use in the Outer Rim game. Chewbacca is amongst them, some of the Rebels characters, Hera's in there, Dengar's in there, some Cad Bane's in there, a couple of the Mandalorian-y characters. So yeah, there's a bunch of new characters in there anyway, some stuff that you can play as. I don't think there's any new ships. They've added a mechanism for the Galactic Council or something, I don't know, at the very end of each of the tracks, whereas before you could go to one of either tracks and that was it. Now they've added a component or a rule that when you reach the end of that track, you can pull a card and basically bounce the other end. So it makes it loopable, which could mean you move around a bit faster, could change the gameplay quite a bit, I think. Bunch of new cards going in. As I say, these new characters, the chance that the old original characters can now come and turn up on the board. They've added a couple of modular bits, one where there's a token you can use to make deals with people that are binding, which sounds kind of cool. I think there's stipulations on that, but that's something you can call in a debt, essentially. And like an achievements thing, I can't remember what it was called, Ambitions, which is do the end game, which is you will have to score certain bits on a score sheet to actually win. A bit like if you play Firefly, there's a very similar sort of thing in Firefly where there's a set of achievements you've got to get to win the actual game. So I imagine, like Firefly, it might extend the game time out a bit more. Who knows? Bunch of new cards, bunch of stuff going in, load more cards, which is what we wanted. I am cautiously optimistic. I held on to Outer Rim purely because I knew the expansion was then coming. I nearly got rid of it, and then they announced the expansion because it's nearly their game. I enjoyed it. It's Firefly in the Star Wars universe. However, it felt it was missing the other half of the game, is kind of how it felt. It had about 3 or 4 plays in it, and then you'd kind of seen most of the content you were going to go and see in there, and it kind of didn't really have anything more to draw you back. It needed a chunk more content, which looks like what we're getting with this. So colour me mildly interested. I've kept hold of the base game, for that purpose. So I might well take the dive on that. I'm tempted to. Jurassic Park Legacy is on Kickstarter. They've just put it out. It's Funko Games, I think it is. I'd seen this a while ago, announced it. It sounded kind of cool. A Legacy Jurassic World game, park game. The park and stuff happens, 12 different adventures. All kind of looks cool. It's gone to Kickstarter. It's ready funded. And then that's where the wheels have fell off the wagon to a certain extent, is that they don't appear to have prepped any stretch goals, anything at all, other than a sleeve for the box you get for doing it on the Kickstarter. And now they're scurrying after the day one of success to try and come up with some manufactured stretch goals for it. Kind of feels a bit dumb at this point. We're this far down the line in Kickstarter and everything else, that you would go to Kickstarter with a project and not have planned any stretch goals or anything. I know it's kind of a false thing anyway. It's all kind of manufactured to make you think you're getting something but nothing, blah 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 blah. Get all that, but it does make me go, it's a real fucking dumb lunkheaded decision to go to Kickstarter without anything prepared. And we know inherently that adding stuff during a project, it can extend their production times and all that, which I can't see them doing because I guess this thing's locked in and done. So there's going to be cosmetic shit. I don't know. It is a weird thing to do. I personally will be waiting for the game to come to retail. I'm not going to back it on this, but I am interested in it because I kind of like Jurassic World stuff. I like all the Jurassic Park stuff. A legacy version in that world sounds kind of cool. So yeah, I'm definitely not out at this point. But for the Kickstarter, I'm sitting on the bench. I'll wait for it to come out to retail at some point down the road, and that's how that's going to work. I think that's it for news, really. There's nothing else that jumped out at me, to be fair. Other than that, what else have we been doing? That's it. There's some videos to come. Charlie recently got his Marvel United, or whatever the fuck it is, the cool mini X-Men miniature. There's got a lot of boxes of shit. I think he might well be doing a video to unbox some of that, maybe, or if not all of it. I have a couple of videos I filmed ages ago that I need to finish editing and get out. One of them is about my favourite game mechanisms. A list of sorts, as we did a list the other day, and another one which was to do with legacy games, which I can't remember exactly what it was about. I think it was spoiling legacy games, but I need to have a look at that and see if that's fit for purpose and edit it and get it out. Maybe if Charlie says something else, there's this. But yeah, there you go. Other than that, I've watched not a lot. I've watched Vox Machina. I finished the rest of that. That was all right. I enjoyed it. It was based on the Critical Role RPG sessions. As a fun RPG-ish distraction of animated mayhem and silliness, it's all right. It gets better after the first couple of episodes. It gets into a storyline, yeah, you know what? I could dig it. It was good. It was entertaining. And in the current subject, my brain was fried. It was 25-minute intervals, bang, easy to watch. Watched all that. It was all right. I watched. I really couldn't struggle. I struggled to fix. I mean, I'm flicking through. So I did watch Fresh, which is the new movie with Sebastian Stan, and I can't remember the actress's name. Which kind of it looks like a thriller, but it looks like a romantic comedy. You couldn't really tell. I watched it a couple of nights ago when I was probably not a good idea because I was tripping and like fantastic, to be honest. And it's a fucked up horror movie. It's a really fucked up horror movie. It goes to fucked up dark places. I was left watching it going, is this really happening or am I tripping? It's actually happening. I would say if you're a fan of Hannibal Lecter-ish type, thrillery type stuff, it's got cannibalism in there. It's got fairly gruesome gore, blood and guts and violence. It goes some dark fucking places. It's twisted, it's fucked up, it is amusing in places. I recommend it if you're prepared, because it's a weird old fucking ride, and probably not helped by my state I was in. So, but yeah, what I saw of it, I think was there, unless I dreamt it. It's on Disney Plus, so have a look at that. There's a note here of something that I can't even fucking work out what that is. There's a bunch of other stuff I started watching bits of, and then I couldn't focus, so I didn't. So there you go. So there's some vids coming from us. Once I'm fit and well, will probably have some more proper vids. But for the time being, be careful out there, people. I will be hopefully functioning a bit better by the end of the week, and then get some games in as well once I test clear on lateral flows. Until then, have a great week. Enjoy whatever you get up to. Stay safe, as I say, and like, share, subscribe, and all that shit. And we're at 400 subscribers. Well, hey, well done, James. Congratulations. Top stuff, the old chap. Can we hold on to 400 is the question. Maybe not. Who knows? Fuck it, I'm too exhausted to even work it out. See you guys. Bye-bye. Good night.